Welcome to this Nexa video, where you will learn how to create, manage and delete classes. In the Nexa interface, you can access your classes from the top menu. On the left side, the class structure is displayed. Classes are used to group like items in Nexa and allow you to organize your data to best represent your company's business. There is no limit to the number of classes or subclasses that you can create, and each class can contain any number of items. For example, you can find all customers under Companies, Customers. In this case, Companies and Customers are said to be the parent class and the child class, respectively. Today, we are going to create a new class for Partner Companies as a child of the Companies class. The ability to create, manage or delete classes is reserved to the Nexa admins. Other end users don't have access to the Administrator tab in the top bar. You will need admin permissions to be able to perform these actions. From the administration menu, we select Classes. At this point, the 5 default classes appear in the central panel. If you click on one of them, the main information regarding the class is displayed in the right-hand pane. For example, here you can see the class name, the parent class, the form, and the revision sequence for the company's class. If you right-click on any of the classes, a menu appears and shows you the following options: Add, Copy, Delete, Save. Let's create a new class. I decide that Companies is going to be the parent of the new class. I right-click on it and select Add. A dialog opens with 4 fields. I insert the name for this class in the first field. The second field allows me to define the parent class. Since I click on Add from the Companies class, this is the starting option here. However, I have the possibility to change my mind by clicking on these ellipses on the right and navigating through all the available classes. All the properties that can be defined for a customer, such as name, description, contact list, and so on, are defined in the form associated to the customer class. We covered the creation and management of forms in another video. For the moment, it is important to understand that forms are the tools that we use to define and manage all the PLM properties of the items of a class, and they give rise to the database tables where these properties are stored. I previously created a form to be associated with the new class, so I go ahead and select it from this drop-down list. Next, I need to select a revision sequence for the class. All the items of the class will follow this revision sequence when the release management is enabled. For example, items will go from AV2 to AV3 or from AV7 to BV1, etc. In this case, I select the Product Center revision sequence. I click on Save and the new partner class is created. At this point, I can define group and user permissions. If one does not customize these parameters, by default, all the items added to the class inherit from the parent class permissions for all groups and users. The user and group permissions are decided after the class creation. The interface is very intuitive. At the top, we can see the permissions such as read, write, delete, and notify. All the groups or users can be seen when the appropriate tab is clicked. We just need to click on the boxes corresponding to the permissions that we want to grant. For example, in this case, I grant the permission Notify to the MCAT group for all the items belonging to the partner class. It is a good practice to add a user to a group and then grant the permissions to a whole group rather than a single user at a time. As a quick rule, keep in mind that user and group permissions are additive, so users inherit all the group permissions of the groups they belong to, plus their own permissions. Please remember that all the changes need to be saved before accessing to a different Nexa functionality. The allowable link types determine which other types of items can be linked to the selected one. In order to manage the allowable link types, I select the 4th tab of the right-hand pane. This prompts a list of the link type names, their description, the head-to-tail relationships, the tail-to-head relationships, and the maximum number of allowed linked items. In this case, it will be possible to link partner items to engineering project items. We will see how this translates in terms of the user interface in a few moments. If I type 0 in this field, it means that there is no maximum number of this type of links that a specific partner item could have. On the contrary, if I specify 2, for example, each partner could be linked to up to 2 engineering projects only. For more details about links, please check the video we have released on the subject. At this point, I can click on the Save button. Notice that it is technically possible to change the form associated to a class after its creation. However, we strongly suggest that once a class has been created and there already exist items for that class, the form is not changed. The reason is that a change in the form implies changes at the database level. Hence, the form change operation must be performed by expert users. Nonetheless, changing the form associated to a class is very simple. One selects the Details tab in the right-hand pane and selects the desired form from the drop-down menu. Notice that the name and parent class can no longer be modified. Once saved at the class creation, these quantities are fixed and thus displayed in gray here. It's important to keep in mind that any changes to the permissions of a given class will affect only the new items of that class that will be created after the permissions have changed. Existing items of that class will not be affected automatically by the change of permissions of the class. To be able to delete a class, all subclasses and all items belonging to that class must be removed first. From Administration Classes, I select the desired class, right-click on it and select Delete. Let's go back to the perspective of a user without administration privileges. The new class is now present in the class structure. If I create a new item for this class by clicking on New Projects and selecting the Partner class, we can see that the form displays the metadata properties that we previously assigned to this class. Also, the link types that we allowed for this class are now available in the Links tab. Now, if I check out the partner item, I can quickly create one of these links by copy-pasting an engineering project in the Links tab. I use the class structure to browse to the engineering projects. I select Copy to Clipboard, and back to the partner item that I have just created, I create the link by selecting the Paste command. Now the two items are linked to each other. Subscribe to our channel and turn on the notifications so that you don't miss all the upcoming Nexa videos with new tutorials and feature updates. Thanks for watching.